In the vast, sun-scorched expanse of the Kalahari Desert, a new generation begins its struggle for life. Here, a family of baby ostriches, merely a few days old, takes its first tentative steps into a world of extreme challenges. These tiny, fluffy chicks, barely larger than a human hand, are born into one of the planet's most unforgiving environments. The landscape stretches out before them as a seemingly endless sea of sand and hardened earth, shimmering under a relentless sun. Their parents, towering figures of resilience, are perfectly adapted to this harsh domain, but their offspring are not. The chicks are fragile, vulnerable, and completely dependent on the wisdom and protection of their elders for their survival. The greatest immediate threat to these young lives is not a predator lurking in the sparse vegetation, but the very air they breathe and the ground they walk upon. The Kalahari is a place of intense heat and profound dryness. While adult ostriches, much like other desert specialists such as meerkats, have evolved to extract all the moisture they need directly from the plants they eat, their chicks have not yet developed this remarkable ability. They're delicate creatures that require a direct source of liquid water to survive. Without a drink, their small bodies will rapidly succumb to dehydration. The clock is ticking from the moment they hatch. They can only endure for a day or so without water. This fundamental need for water sets the stage for an extraordinary and perilous journey. The adult ostriches know that their brood cannot stay in the relative safety of their nesting area. To save their young, they must lead them on a desperate trek across the featureless wasteland. To an outside observer, the decision to march a legion of tiny, vulnerable chicks across a sun-baked plain might appear utterly suicidal. The risks are immense, from exhaustion under the oppressive heat to the ever-present danger of predators who might spot the conspicuous procession moving across the open ground. Yet, it is a journey they must undertake, a calculated risk driven by the certainty of failure if they remain where they are. The destination is a distant, almost mythical place, known only to the parents. It is a specific location where life-giving water can be found, a hidden secret in the vastness of the desert. The parents, with an instinct honed over countless generations, begin to lead their large family forward. The chicks, a flurry of downy feathers and spindly legs, instinctively follow their giant guardians. They do not understand the purpose of their march or the dangers that lie ahead. They simply trust the towering figures that guide them, their survival entirely placed in the care and knowledge of their mother and father. This epic journey is a testament to the powerful bonds of family and the unyielding drive to endure. The family's journey takes them towards the great Etosha salt pan, a vast, flat expanse of sun-baked mud that stretches to the horizon. Here the conditions are at their most extreme. The ground itself radiates heat, and the air shimmers with thermal waves, creating mirages that dance in the distance. The temperature climbs to over 40 degrees Celsius, an oppressive heat that drains the energy from any living thing caught in its grasp. For the tiny ostrich chicks, this part of the journey is the most grueling test of their young lives. Their small bodies are not built to withstand such prolonged exposure to the intense solar radiation and the scorching ground beneath their feet. With every step, the chicks use precious energy and lose vital moisture. Their world is reduced to the simple rhythmic act of putting one foot in front of the other, trying desperately to keep up with the long strides of their parents. The landscape offers no respite, no shade from a friendly tree, and no shelter from the searing wind that blows across the pan. It is a sterile, hostile environment that seems designed to defeat them. The parents stride on with a determined pace, knowing that to slow down is to linger too long in this deadly furnace. They are aware that the longer their family is exposed, the weaker the chicks will become, making them easy targets for exhaustion or any predator that might be watching. The sheer scale of the salt pan is overwhelming. To the tiny chicks, it must seem like an infinite, featureless desert with no end in sight. They are driven forward by the primal instinct to follow their parents, a biological imperative that overrides their growing fatigue and thirst. Some chicks begin to lag behind, their small legs struggling to maintain the pace. The family unit, though large, is a fragile entity. The loss of even a single chick is a tragedy, but the parents cannot stop for the stragglers. The survival of the majority depends on reaching their destination before the sun's punishing heat claims them all. It is a brutal lesson in the economics of survival in the wild. This desperate march across the salt pan highlights the incredible endurance of these young birds. They are pushed to the absolute limit of their physical capabilities, driven by a need they can feel but not yet comprehend. Their parents' unwavering progress is their only beacon of hope, a promise of relief in a world that offers none. The journey is a silent, dramatic procession, a testament to the powerful will to live that exists even in the most fragile of creatures. The sun continues its relentless ascent in the sky, and with each passing hour, the urgency of their quest for water grows more and more desperate, turning their trek into a frantic race against time itself. As the sun reaches its zenith, its rays beat down with maximum intensity, turning the surface of the salt pan into a blistering hot plate. The heat becomes truly life-threatening for the tiny ostrich chicks, who lack the size and physiological adaptations to cope with such extreme temperatures. It is at this critical moment that the father ostrich plays a vital and remarkable role in the family's survival. He is not just a guide leading the way, he becomes a mobile sanctuary for his vulnerable offspring. His massive body, covered in a dense coat of black and white feathers, is perfectly suited to absorb and deflect the harsh sunlight, creating a life-saving patch of shade. The father strategically positions himself to offer this crucial protection. He will often walk in a way that allows his shadow to fall directly over the struggling group of chicks huddled close to his legs. This moving patch of coolness provides a critical respite from the direct blistering sun. The chicks instinctively understand the relief this shadow offers and scramble to stay within its protective embrace. This simple yet profound act of parental care can make the difference between life and death, lowering the ambient temperature just enough to prevent the chicks from overheating and succumbing to heat stroke. It is a beautiful display of paternal devotion in the animal kingdom. This act of shading is a continuous and demanding task for the father. He must remain ever vigilant, adjusting his position as the group moves and as the sun arcs across the sky. His own body is absorbing the full force of the solar radiation, a significant burden even for a creature as well adapted as he is. While his dark feathers are excellent for display, they also absorb a great deal of heat. His dedication to protecting his young requires him to endure significant personal discomfort and stress. It is a selfless act, prioritizing the well-being of the next generation over his own immediate comfort, showcasing the incredible lengths to which parents will go to ensure their offspring survive. The father's shadow is more than just a shield from the sun. It is a symbol of security and a focal point that helps keep the scattered group of chicks together. In the disorienting, shimmering heat of the pan, his large, dark form is an unmissable beacon. By clustering in his shade, the chicks are less likely to become separated from the group and lost in the vast, empty landscape. This paternal strategy is a masterclass in desert survival, combining navigation, protection, and herd management into one continuous life-sustaining effort. He is their guardian, their guide, and their only source of comfort in a world of blinding light and burning heat. After what must have seemed like an eternity of walking across the scorched and cracked earth, the ostrich family finally reaches their destination. In the very middle of the sun-baked mud of the salt pan, a miracle of nature awaits them. Here, sweet, fresh water wells up from deep underground, forming a small, precious oasis in the barren landscape. This is the secret place the parents knew of, the destination that fueled their desperate march. The sight of the water is a profound relief, the culmination of their immense effort and a reward for their incredible endurance. For the chicks, who have never seen such a thing before, it is the promise of an end to their tormenting thirst. The moment they arrive, the chicks rush towards the water's edge. They dip their beaks into the cool liquid, drinking deeply for the first time in their lives. The water replenishes their dehydrated bodies, revitalizing their exhausted limbs and washing away the dust of their long journey. Watching them drink, one can almost feel their relief and the surge of life returning to their tiny forms. This single act of drinking secures their survival for another day. This hidden water source is a lifeline not just for this one family, but for many creatures who call the Kalahari home, a testament to how the desert, though harsh, provides for those who know its secrets. The ostrich family is not alone at this precious waterhole. The presence of fresh water in such an arid place inevitably attracts other animals, all seeking the same life-sustaining resource. Other species, from graceful antelopes to flocks of sandgrouse, may also be present, creating a temporary truce zone where the common need for water overrides the usual dynamics of predator and prey. This gathering of diverse wildlife underscores the critical importance of these isolated oases. They are hubs of activity, vital nexuses of life that support the entire ecosystem. The chicks get their first glimpse of the wider community of animals with whom they share this demanding world. Having quenched their thirst, the family's immediate crisis is over. The chicks have survived their first great trial, a rite of passage that has tested their strength and their parents' devotion. They have learned a crucial lesson about survival in the Kalahari, that endurance and knowledge can unlock the desert's hidden bounty. The journey has been brutal, but it has forged them in the fires of the African sun, preparing them for the many challenges that still lie ahead. Under the watchful eyes of their parents, they have taken a giant leap on their path to becoming true desert survivors, ready to face the next chapter of their lives in this beautiful yet unforgiving land.